All right, so this is the last set of one-step equations that we're going to solve in grade 8. And with this one, it is where our variable is being divided by a number. So this one says x divided by 3 ends up being equal to 5. So what I need to do now is the opposite of dividing x into 3 pieces. If I'm going to divide x into 3 pieces, the opposite of that would be to then multiply x by 3 to get 3 groups. So if I split it into smaller pieces and then I multiply it by 3, those guys are going to cancel each other. Okay? Just like before, I had one in the top, one in the bottom, and they cancel. Now remember, whatever I do on the left-hand side, I must do on the right-hand side as well. Now, I don't want to use x for multiply, so I'm using that set of brackets to indicate that I am multiplying both sides. If you really need to write a multiplication symbol, don't use x, okay? Instead, just use a dot to say that you're multiplying, because if you use x, it really already looks like your variable. So I would stay away from that. Using a dot for multiplying would be okay, but putting in brackets is probably best. So if I have 3 and I divide by 3, it's just 1, and so that would give me 1x. And like we talked about in the last video, well, I'm just going to write x down. I don't need to put the 1 in front. On the right-hand side, 5 times 3 gives me 15. Okay? And so now what we're going to do is we're going to verify that answer. So we said that some number divided by 3 should be 5. The left-hand side was that x divided by 3, or some number divided by 3. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, instead of x, I'm going to change it to 15. So I'm going to take this 15 and I'm going to substitute it in and change x to be 15. So it's now 15 over 3. And I kind of have that as a fraction. Well, if I put that fraction into lowest terms, 15 divided by 3 is 5. I get 5 over 1. Well, that's really just 5. Okay? On the right-hand side, we started off with 5. So I just fill in my 5. And we now have the same thing on the left as we have on the right, so we have the correct solution. And that's because 15 divided by 3 is 5. 15 had to be the missing number. What about this one here? I got x divided by negative 2 is equal to 4. Well, the opposite of dividing by negative 2 is multiplying by negative 2. So I'm going to do that on both sides. I treat both sides equally. Those guys cancel, because negative 2 divided by negative 2 is positive 1. So I get positive 1x. The other guys get crossed out. 4 times 2 is 8, and positive 4 times negative 2 gives me negative 8. Let's make sure that we have the right answer. We'll verify our equation here. The left side started as x over negative 2. The right-hand side started as 4. I'm going to change, instead of writing in x, I'm going to put in negative 8. Remember, put it in a set of brackets when you substitute in. Negative divided by negative is positive. 8 divided by 2 is 4. We have positive 4 on both sides. We have the correct solution. Okay? All right, what if I had x divided by 5 is equal to negative 12? X being divided by 5, the opposite of dividing by 5 is multiplying by 5. So I'm just going to multiply by 5 on both sides. The ones on the left, they cancel. I'm left with x. On the right-hand side, negative times positive is negative. 12 times 5 is 60. So we get x should be negative 60. And we can double check that that's actually the correct answer. We started with x over 5. On the right-hand side, we started with negative 12. Now, instead of x, I'm going to fill in that negative 60. So I should have negative 60 instead of x divided by 5. Negative divided by positive is negative, and 60 divided by 5 is 12. One last one. X over negative 4 is equal to negative 5, or x divided by negative 4 is equal to negative 5. The opposite of dividing x by negative 4 is to multiply x by negative 4. And when I do that, both sides cancel. And I'm left with x is equal to, on the other side, I have to do the exact same thing. I have to multiply by negative 4. Negative 5 times negative 4, negative times negative is positive, and 5 times 4 is 20. Let's make sure that we have the right value, that 20 actually works for x. On the left-hand side, we started with x over negative 4. On the right-hand side, we started with negative 5. We said x should be positive 20, so let's put that in. So we go positive 20 in a set of brackets, divided by negative 4. Positive divided by negative is negative. 20 divided by 4 is 5, and we have negative 5 on both sides. So that's all the solving of one-step equations that we're going to be doing. So keep in mind, yes, I know you guys are definitely smart enough to do these in your head. However, it will come, or there will come a day where the numbers are not so easily solvable within your head. So I want you to have the strategies to be able to solve these and know what you need to do on both sides of your equation. You need to know the opposite of dividing is to multiply, and I want you to be able to show that. So as our work becomes more difficult, you still have a chance at solving it. So please, as you're going through things, make sure you are showing your steps.